Hello, guys, and welcome back to Sports Kabri. I think we can finally say we're at the end of football season 24-25 because we've come to the last game of the Club World Cup, which is going to have the European champions with PSG facing Chelsea Football Club in the finals. And I think looking at PSG over the past 3 months, for me personally, I think this debate comes that it's not been a one-off season for them where it's just a team that's been playing well in the UCL, having a good UCL run and winning a UCL. I think they've dominated the France, the French league, and the French cups. They've dominated the UCL from what I've seen, and they've come to the Club World Cup and dominated the Club World Cup fully. Like every team they've played, they've not just beaten them, they've beaten them comprehensively. And just looking at this team, I was just wondering, like, I've never seen any team in my personal experience of watching football play football like the way they played football. Like for me personally, like it's just not about their attacking threat, but it's about them as a team being able to dominate every single phase, not just technically, but also outrunning teams, out pressing every team, every single game, every single high pressure game. I've seen a lot of teams, bro. Like for me, at least personally, I started watching football properly since, let's say, 2013, 2014 season when Barcelona won the treble. That was my first proper season of watching football. Since then, I've been watching
That's
every.
2014-15, no? Da?
No, it's
14,
13.
15 season they
14-15.
won the
13-14
Liga.
was Atletico La Liga.
14, 15, 14,
Okay,
15.
maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was after the World Cup, exactly. Yeah, anyways, since then, I've been watching football properly. And even with the great MSN era of Messi, Suarez, Neymar, which for me personally is the best three I've ever seen. Real Madrid dominating those 3-4 years in the European side of it. Also City, Liverpool in the English side of it. I've seen a lot of teams that have been very dominating, but I've never seen a team that dominate football like this. Like I was actually mesmerized the way they played. Like I was actually surprised the way they played. And me as an Arsenal fan, when Arsenal did lose to PSG in the semi-finals, it is always going to be such a huge blow because the first time I've ever watched Arsenal play a semi-final in the UCL, but I actually didn't feel that bad because the way they played, I was like, they really truly deserve to win it. Like, and it is the matter of like I've never seen any team run the way they've run. I've never seen any team, fluidly attack like the way they attack. And like it is not just a matter of two people attacking, three people attacking. It's their entire five, entire six players who go front, bombing front, attacking, and the same six front come back defensively so good. So I think this debate comes at least from my mind. You know what I was thinking? Like, do you guys think this is one of the best European teams you've ever seen in your lifetime, or in your footballing era? Because for me personally, I can give an argument saying, okay, for me, maybe this is one of the best teams I've ever watched. But yeah, what about you guys? Just getting off, that topic.
Yeah, go for it then. Okay, fine. If you want to start, like if I'm starting off, I don't know if it's the best, but I definitely think it's right up there. I think this again, I haven't watched much of the Club World Cup, so I'm not going to go off of anything that has happened in the Club World Cup. This is just me purely having seen PSG in the Champions League. Again, have not seen them in Liga or anything. Of course, they've had a dominant season this campaign. I think we spoke about PSG even before the semis or before the quarters or pre-quarters or something like that, or just after they had played Liverpool. And even then, I was like, "Damn, this is a really good team." Like just the way they played, and just the way they went about it. I don't know if it's the best. Again, to me, like the way I even look at it is, I can't tell for sure because again, I've not watched them in Liga to say, yeah, okay, I know every game they've been playing this well or that well. But in terms of how scared I was as an Arsenal fan facing this PSG team, it wasn't, my fear factor wasn't at the highest. And I did not think at any point that, my God, we're going to get wiped here. Okay. And but again, there is also a caveat here that this Arsenal team is pretty good. So in the years gone by, maybe we haven't had that good a team, and maybe that's why I felt like, oh my God, we're going to get slapped up by a really good Bayern Munich team or a really good Barcelona team in the past. But yeah, just going in, that's what I'm going to base this off of. Just the fact that, of course, the caveat is that this Arsenal team was very good. But going into that PSG game and even after that PSG game, it never felt to me like they were the better team, of course, but it never felt to me like, oh my God, it is that just absolutely they've just absolutely dominated us, or that, oh my God, we were completely outplayed or anything like that. But yeah, it is an extremely good side, having said that. And yeah, I think they're just so, bro, again, it's all about excitement, right? Like they've got such an exciting front three that now you got since Usman Dembele moved into the false nine, the fact that he can play whoever he wants out wide as well. He has options in Barcola, Due, Kvaratskhelia. All of them are very exciting in their own right. So I think, yeah, just the way the PSG team is set up, I really love the midfield as well. All of them really class. I think I love all of them. Joao Neves, Vitinha, and Fabian Ruiz. So yeah, there's nothing. I have nothing to complain really with this PSG team. I think it's an amazing team.
Yeah. Rishi?
Bro, I think I tend to agree with Rahul in the sense that, like, yeah, this is a very, very scary team. Like, the prospect of facing them is fearful. Like, they're going to completely outrun you, they're going to completely outpress you, and their front three are lethal and they have options. So, yeah, the fact, if I were to play them across again a single knockout game, or like a two-legged game, I'd be very scared. But is this the best team, like, we've seen in our era? I don't know, because the earlier teams that you mentioned, both the teams that you mentioned, at least the Barcelona team again is probably the best team I've seen in my lifetime yet. But again, that didn't last very long, like, because right after that, even the subsequent season, they won the league, I think, or they won the domestic double, and then they won the domestic cup in the subsequent season. They had a lot of changes because they were losing Xavi, they were losing Iniesta one season after the other. So again, I don't think that squad remained solid for a while. Even then, Enrique left the season after that, they replaced him. So I don't think that Barcelona team would, I feel, have that longevity that I feel this team is going to have. But bro, for me, I think City 17-18 season team, maybe this has something to do with me having to watch them a lot more, because like Rahul said, I've pretty much watched PSG only in the Champions League. I haven't watched, I don't think, like, I've watched maybe one game of PSG in the Club World Cup, and that is the Real Madrid game, and the pretty much the Champions League games, and zero Liga games. So I can't make a fair assessment on them. But on the other hand, teams like that Pep 17-18 City that I was watching in week out, and bro, like, regardless of who they were playing, when they played Liverpool, I used to be scared of, oh bro, what is going to happen when, like, United are going to play them like 1 month down the lane? We're going to get slapped up, because they seem to have solutions for every single team they were, like, facing, and you just couldn't find a way to, like, get past them. Like, I just felt that team was inevitable. I just feel there hasn't been, at least in our lifetime, hasn't been a team where I felt their win is, inevitable, that okay, somehow or the other they're going to find a solution and they're going to crack the team open. That level of inevitability I just haven't felt yet from PSG. Maybe they are a better team, maybe they do run a lot more, maybe they have younger players who will sustain longer periods of time, but I just haven't watched them enough yet. And that City team has just played football which I would want my team to play as well. Like, I'm looking at that team, everything, like, I was disappointed that United weren't anywhere there. I was jealous of City because the kind of football they were playing. So it was a lot of it. And this is coming from a United fan, mind you, that I think that team for me was the most, like, potent or dangerous team that era, in fact, not just that team. They actually managed to sustain for quite a while. Again, they have their own reasons, they have their own resources to do that, but at the end of the day, they managed to do that. So I think we have to give, at least that's what I feel, I have to give credit to City for that.
Yeah, and I
But you
think it's a
said
very
that
subjective. It's a
that
subjective
City
thing as well.
team did get spanked by Liverpool that season 3 times. If you want to talk about
They did.
domination, they got they got slapped up in the
They
UCL.
got outrun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They did. They did.
Not even outrun, bro. They didn't even play football like those two UCL games. I
Hmm.
think that was when Trent also debuted.
That
Even
is
the
that.
4-3.
If that
Uh,
Chamberlain long range goal, if I'm not wrong, that this one only.
yeah, yeah. That was in the
Hmm.
UCL. Even the 4-3 on, I think it was New Year's Eve when they won 4-3. They were dominating. They were winning 4-1, Liverpool, and
Hmm.
then they did concede two late goals. And the City team, I think, failed to win the FA Cup also. I think Arsenal won the FA Cup that season, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember, to be fair. 17, 18. It was either Arsenal or Chelsea, if I'm right, if I'm wrong. I don't remember. But
Bro, but
they,
like, see,
they
I don't
did.
know. There was like for me, there was something about that team. I feel were better as a team than the City's treble winning team, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, what
What?
do you guys feel the same? Like, I feel
What?
they were a better as they were better as a unit. At least I don't know, like for aesthetic purposes or just the way they played football, better than the City's treble winning team.
Bro, but Rishi, that
Who?
time
Who?
they had
City's 17-18
such.
team.
But that's the point. That time they had such a big advantage over every single team in the world because of the money they could spend.
True, true, true. Of
Secondly,
course, they did.
they did lose. They got knocked out in the round of 16, if I'm not wrong, or quarterfinals
Hmm.
in the UCL. They didn't. I think they failed to win the FA Cup. And even when I watched them, they played good football. But I think any team can do that. Right now, PSG can match that team in terms of playing good football. I don't think
Hmm.
playing good football in possession is an issue for this PSG team also. The only differentiating factor for me, I've seen from every single team ever in my life. Like I've seen so many teams, like so many years of football. I've never seen any team that runs this much. And that's the point. Even if you talk about that MSN team, you can say if one game there's no Messi or Suarez or Neymar, that MSM team looks different. Like you're gonna have a different quality. There will be weaknesses in the team,
Bro,
and you can expose
they
those.
had their backup was Pedro, who wasn't bad either, by the way.
Pedro was, I don't think he did much that year, if I'm
Yeah,
not
he
wrong.
didn't like, but yeah, he whenever one
Pedro
of his
never had
PSG
that
came, did it.
huge. Bro,
Yeah, of
see again,
course.
like point is even with the Barca team for me personally, I used to watch them in the El Clasicos. The I used to watch the odd eye highlights because obviously that it used to be way tougher that time to watch football. And I used to watch them every time in the UCL. I watched them play the UCL. And that team, if for example Messi didn't turn up one night, I think that team would have lost, for example. But with this PSG team, you guys only spoke about the front three. But for me, I think their main the way they
The
attack
midfield.
their fullbacks. Like for me, the real MVPs of
Hmm.
this team is the fullbacks. Bro, Hakimi scored in the final. He scored in the against
Yeah.
Arsenal. I think he scored against Aston Villa also. So it's not just a one-off game where they did. Even against Real Madrid game, you go watch. It was the fullbacks who were creating chances. Nuno Mendes, he's always there creating so many chances. Even against Arsenal, I remember he won a penalty. Their attacking threat doesn't only come from the front three, but it comes from their fullbacks also. And that's the point. It's just not about them attacking together. Like it's like 5, 6 players attack together. Even Fabian Ruiz makes those occasional late runs, etc. But the way they defend, like I've never seen any defend. I mean, any attacker defend like that. And I think that's the differentiating factor of a good team, great team like a City team versus an elite team because they can do both games. Like they can defend well and attack well at the same time. But because against Arsenal, they didn't play the same free flow attacking football you're watching yesterday or day before yesterday, whenever it was against Real Madrid. Whenever they played against Inter Milan, they were free flowing, they were dominating position. But against Arsenal, they parked the bus in the first leg, they parked the bus in the second leg also. In terms of not really, they were sitting in a very tight shape. Their wingers were happy to do that the entire game and they were very comfortable at the end of the day. I mean, sure, like Arsenal had good chances, but they were able to like suss out as a defensive unit and then be very threatening in the counter. Like, mind you, they could have even won 3-0, 4-0 at the Emirates if they had, like, if they scored and converted like two good chances. And going into the second, like going 2-0 up, 3-0 up, it would have been a different game, maybe. And it's just overall, I've never seen any team defend like this, and that's I've never seen any team outrun the opposition like this ever. Like I've seen Liverpool play, like it used to be very suffocating to play against them, but bro, even with their team, like you wouldn't have Salah, Mane tracking back like the way these guys track back. Like you still had like you could still find flaws in the team. Like you could still expose star if it came down to it. Even Van Dijk, if it came down to it in the right spaces, you can expose him. But bro, even with this team, like Marquinhos and Pacho, they've been very solid. Like Pacho, I've been very impressed. I think me personally, people talk about best centre backs in the world. I would put him right on top because of the way he's handled, at least in the UCL, based on what I've seen in the UCL, in all honesty. The way he's held the defense because how tough it is, I think every player has been on top. And again, like it comes down to it, bro. Like for me, this PSG team didn't have Dembele until this semi-finals. Like he was not playing and they still looked comfortable. And that's the point. Like even against Arsenal, Dembele didn't play. They were leading what 2-0 up before Dembele came on, if I'm not wrong, or 1-0 up, 2-0 up. And that's the point. I feel like this PSG team, I've never seen any team dominate both on the ball and off the ball like they have. And that's why I think this differentiates to every other, at least great team I've seen. Like, at least from what we've seen, maybe like before 2008, 2007, you would have found like maybe the Barca treble winning team. People would come and say, yeah, that's the best ever team they've seen. Sure, but I'm saying like from what I've seen, I really can't put one team out there saying they've been the best team, because even with the City team, you can say they're the best team you've seen, but they were nowhere in the UCL, bro. I think even they lost to they did lose in the UCL games before that in the group stages. They went to the round of 16. I don't remember who they played, but I think it was a pretty easy draw. And then in the quarterfinals, they played Liverpool, and they did get battered by them. It was not like they were able to outplay Liverpool and have a tough loss. So yeah, bro, for me, I think that matters. If you're calling yourself one of the best teams ever, you should be able to dominate UCL and show that you're the best team ever. And I don't think City did that until like maybe the treble winning team. So for me, it would be very difficult to say any other team being the top. But yeah, I think again, maybe the Barcelona, Messi, MSN, I mean, the MSN team is the only other team I would say. And even in that, you have to understand, you have to realize it's a Luis Enrique team. It's no other manager
Yeah, I
who
was just gonna say the common factor is
Yeah,
Luis
bro. Like,
Enrique.
and that's what I realized. Like, even with this team, you look at it, it is the front three who dominate and is the game changer of the team. Same as the Barcelona team. But if you actually looked at the Barcelona team, even the fullbacks were so helpful and influential for the front three. Dani Alves, Jordi Alba at that time, they were so influential in the way, Barcelona attacked then. Like, they used to always hold the width, which would allow the front three to, come narrow, stay closer to themselves and create their own, magic. And I think this PSG team does similar things. Like, look at the front three, they're very narrow always when they're attacking, and the width is always occupied for the fullbacks. Yeah, maybe if you guys don't think this PSG team is the best team ever, who else would you guys say? At least with Rahul, I think he didn't really think
So
PSG is
I
the.
don't think I can. I don't think I can say for sure like which is the greatest. It's just that even this PSG team, or even you're talking about the Barcelona 14-15 season team. It's not like I watched a lot of that either, so I can't say that that was the best team I've seen. Again,
Bro, but you
even
don't have to
what I
go watching every game, right? Like for
Every
me, it's
game.
like even with this
no, but
PSG team, I haven't watched a lot.
it's not every game, but at least I would want to know what they're doing in the league, like watching them a little more in the league. Because I've never done that. Even in the league, even back then, I never watched the La Liga. I've never watched La Liga in general. So I can't comment on like what that team was doing in the league, how they were performing in the league, because again, like for me, it will go towards an English team simply because I've just seen them a lot more. I've seen them
So
like
who would
I
you
see
think?
them
Like,
every week. Again, I would say one of the city teams. I don't think I can pick out. I feel like the city team from 2 years ago, 2, 3 years ago.
That's the treble winning team.
No, the team that lost the Champions League final, 22,
The one
the
they won the league without the striker.
22,
Gundogan's crazy
23,
season.
22, 23. They they didn't win the Champions League. I just can't remember. But yeah, it's one of those seasons.
22-23 is when they won by 1 point against Liverpool in the last day.
Liverpool. Correct.
Correct. And they
The
didn't win
one
the
where
Champions League that year.
Zinchenko came on and they were losing 1-0 to Aston Villa, and then
And
they
then they didn't win the Champions. Yeah,
Correct.
it's one of those. I feel like it's one of those
They
teams. Just
played
they didn't.
Villa, right?
Yeah.
Fabinho scored that
So
game.
again, I'm going off the fact that in years gone by, as an Arsenal fan, who have I most feared facing? Honestly, like I would put that City team in that
But
category.
Rahul, that's the beauty of it for me because let's be honest, everyone sitting here going into that season, we would have said, okay, City should win it because of the way they had built the team, the amount of money they spent, etc. Right? Let's say coming into this UCL season, I don't think anyone of us three would have thought PSG would win
PSG would win.
the
Yeah,
UCL.
yeah.
But you know the thing with PSGs is not that we would none of us would have said PSG would win it because of the fact that PSG historically has never done it. But at the end of the day, this is a talented team. Like it's not a talented team. It's not like they haven't spent the money, right? Like it's
No, no, it's not about spending the
Rahul,
money.
who hasn't? Who hasn't? Like,
I think
I don't
every
think
team
no,
that
has.
I
That's the
agree.
money,
point.
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I'm completely not denying.
that
I think
money
this PSG
conversation
team,
has left the
bro.
that ship has sailed
I think,
long since.
bro, this PSG team is one of the most watchable teams like in the last few, like say 6, 7 years. It's really fun to watch this PSG team. But the point
No,
again
my
for me is
point
just
is
that
like,
to say that the best ever, I can't say because I have not seen them enough.
see, Rahul, my point is like with the fear factor you're saying, that's the point. Like, bro, I remember 22, 23, like, if you're saying as an Arsenal fan, I think that was the first season where, like, I think Arsenal made the push for the top five when they came fifth that season. We had a very young team. We lost final in the second game against City when we had the red card, Xhaka was sent off.
Xhaka red card, yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, going into that season, we lost away to Brentford, like lost home to Chelsea 2-0. Then we had City the third game. I don't think Lacazette Oba even played a proper game until that, third game. As an Arsenal fan, you know that City's already won two, three titles under Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola, people say, okay, whatever, he's one of the best managers there to go. Like, obviously, you would have been scared to like face the City team
no,
because
that's what I said.
it's
I
just that
said
conditioning of
that
like
I agree. That's what I said. I
exactly.
said that caveat is there that this Arsenal team
But
right now is much stronger, and in the years gone by, we haven't been that good, and that's probably why my fear would have been at
yeah,
probably
but
at a higher level.
exactly.
But
But like
for, I would still
viewing
go to
my
an English team. That's
no, my
you get
point
my
is like
point.
viewing like football. Like that's my point. You watch that City team play. Not only against Arsenal, we watch them play against other big teams in that year. Like who did they lose? I think they lost to Real Madrid that season, right? Like that crazy comeback where they had.
Correct.
We
Yeah.
watched them play Liverpool's, Man United, etc. It's not like we had only one game of Arsenal, and you've seen a good chunk of PSG maybe this year. Like the point is, let's say footballing wise, let's take out the Arsenal fan in you. Who do you think plays the better football, both like
No, so this is
attacking
a very
wise?
subjective question. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
why.
you, it's what you prefer. Now, I also like I like I really like what PSG do. I genuinely really like what PSG do. I think they're very attractive to watch. I find very enjoyable that both wingers are very capable of beating their man. I like the fact that Usman Dembele is the number 9 who can also do crazy things on his day and like not even on his day, just most of the time. And even that midfield is so attractive to watch as well, right? Like they're so neat and again, just brilliant to
They're
watch.
also good very defensively. Like
Yeah,
they actually
for me, like again, like for me, something that attracts me, I'd say like from an attacking perspective, it's so entertaining to watch PSG. But again, I don't know. I just don't know. It's not that I. It may be the best team ever in this era or whatever in the last 15 years. But for me, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Like I just feel like I haven't seen enough to say that it is. It is. And like I can't even. But even of the games that I've watched, it's very hard for me to compare this PSG team to any of the other teams that we're talking about as well. Because again, it's just feel like it's just a little different. But yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to say that it is the best or it is not the best. Either way, I think is very hard
interesting.
for me.
Anything from
Yeah.
your side, Chi?
Bro, yeah, like it's just kind of unfair, not unfair, just unfortunate that we haven't gotten to see a lot more of teams like PSG, like Barcelona and things like that. Because of course, firstly we were like very limited when we were watching. We pretty much started off watching our teams, and then it never attracted us. Like of course, when Barcelona played the Real Madrids or the Atletico Madrids or even like the big-ish teams, we'd have the attraction. And for Liga, even now, I don't think. I would sit and watch, like, take time out to sit and watch a PSG team. So it's just kind of unfortunate they go under the radar, like no matter how good they play football. But that's the thing. Like, I don't think we need to judge PSG on the solely on the basis of Liga, because they are anyway dominating. They are winning. They can wrap up the league by like December, Jan if needed. And when it comes to teams like that, the only real litmus test that needs to be done is the Champions League, or is, like in this case, the Club World Cups, where they are the only teams that they face are more or less the best teams in Europe. Like, PSG played every single big team in the last 3-4 months. They've played the Real Madrid, they've played the Arsenals, they've played the Inter Milans. Like, who are there? Like, who are left to, like, challenge them? And, like, like, what team is there right now? Because in this previous season, we know that City have not been great at all. Like, we can say that we don't have to be like, what, City, or maybe you can say Liverpool haven't played them yet, but
Liverpool
you
played
can't.
them. They lost. Liverpool played.
Oh yeah, Liverpool played them this season. So there's pretty much no team that's left there you can put a case forth and be like, what, maybe if this team would have played PSG, we would have known what would have happened. Because let's be real, City had their own struggles. So I don't think anybody's gonna sit and say, yeah, maybe Pep Guardiola would have figured them out or City would have figured them out, because that's not happening this season. So
Mm.
what more should PSG have done, like, to, like, establish themselves as one of the best teams? Like, because they have done everything in their capability. They've wrapped up the league, they've romped everyone in the league, they have pretty much romped through the Champions League also. Now it looks like they're gonna, unless Chelsea can pull off a rabbit out of a hat, it looks like they're gonna convincingly win the Club World Cup also. So what
No,
is left for them?
See,
bro,
it's not
that's what
about.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think
Obviously.
we're talking about them winning trophies. I think it's more about how they've dominated the. For me, I'm talking more. For me personally, like what I'm coming from is more stylistically. Like that's the point. Like
Agreed. I
but
know, I
I've
know.
seen, like I've seen the City teams play football. Like they used to dominate a certain way, like position
Hmm.
football. But that's the reason they struggled in the UCL, because if a team were very good defensively, had rigid defensive, and could be physical, and then they could counter attack very precisely, like how Liverpool did, they did struggle. They lost 3 games in a row. I think that was one of City's weaknesses. But that's my
Mm.
point with this PSG team. They can do both the dirty work, the defensive work, and the attacking work. And that's what I was trying to say. For me, like a dominating team is not based on having superstars. It's not based on just dominating position, having like 80% position. No, like it's not that. For me, bro, let's not take the joke, okay? Like they went and played a Real Madrid who had Mbappe, who left them, who came to Real Madrid because he thought Real Madrid is a place where you can go win the UCL. They had Vinny, they had your Bellingham. Like it's just not a joke of a team. Like even the bro, they beat Inter Milan final in a UCL final. I literally was like, how? Like I didn't, nobody expected going into that game. I think people had Inter Milan as favorites or like could win the game because of how good they were defensively, etc. Like winning final in a final, it's crazy. I don't think any team has done that before. Even with Arsenal, they did beat us 4-1. They did beat even Liverpool. Like the so even the first leg when they played Liverpool at home, bro, they should have been 4-0 up if you're all honest. If you guys watch a game, I don't know if you guys watch
Yeah,
it on.
what? No,
Exactly.
bro. Yeah, I
The
think what
first,
all of you are saying is very true, and I think it may be very true for the most part. I just think the time, even in just watching the UCL, for me as a fan, it hasn't left an imprint enough to say that, or for me to
mm,
fall in love with them, or like whatever
yeah,
it
that's
is.
fair.
Right? That's it.
Yeah, I think that's fair because they had a huge resurgence in the second half of the season than the first.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
they
to be
started
fair,
off
if
a
we
bit
have to
slow, but
remember
Yeah,
yeah.
it,
they did
they
lose
were,
to Arsenal in the Champions League group stage. They did lose to Bayern. They did
yeah,
lose
they were
to
struggling. They had to beat
yeah,
City to qualify to the whatever round of 16,
yeah,
etc.
exactly,
etc.
exactly.
That is a fair point, but I'm just going from the past 6 months of what I watched PSG.
No, no, I think it's a brilliant team.
Yeah,
I think right now there's no better team to watch than PSG, like in terms of attractive
yeah.
football and stuff like that. But yeah, I just
So
think,
yeah,
unfortunately, from
that's
a
fair.
fan's perspective, it's not a team problem. It's not PSG's fault. It is more like as a football consumer, like you have not consumed enough, kind of a thing.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Anyways, what do you guys think? Who's going to win the finals? I think. We have two
I
more
want
days left.
PSG to win the final.
I mean, obviously that would
Obviously,
be, but
they are only going to win, man. It's fine.
Bro,
yeah.
I
I've
don't
watched
think
everything of
Chelsea are
PSG
gonna.
in the Club World Cup, but I hope they.
Yeah,
See,
I think PSG are gonna win, bro. I don't think Chelsea honestly have a chance.
oh damn.
Mm.
Yeah, even for me, I think like you have to look at Chelsea's run of games. When you actually look at them, I don't think they played any top European team. I think all the
They
teams
lost
that
Flamengo also, I think, at some point.
they did lose to Flamengo 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, if I'm not wrong. And 3-1, I think that was that game.
The red card game.
Yeah. And I don't think they've played any of the European teams until now. So this will be the first European team, if I'm not
Wait,
wrong.
for
That's
real?
pretty-
Hey,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
they didn't.
What the heck?
They played. They didn't play anyone there. I think they played Palmeiras, right, in the previous
Yeah, they play
game.
Palmeiras,
And before that,
Fluminense.
I really don't remember, but they didn't
They
play
play
any.
Benfica in the round of 16. So
Benfica's the only
I think
European team they played, and I mean, they were drawing 1-1 until they eventually won in the additional time. But to be fair, yeah, I mean, with Chelsea, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's a final. You never know. But I think that team is just too young and still finding their own feet overall. So if you're going into the finals, I would obviously think that PSG should win. I think that's the matter of fact.
mm,
Like they did win the UCL, and I think if any team in the world right now, I would sit and say it deserves to win like the Club World Cup. I would say it's them because they've
yeah,
again, it's not something like they've played the only easy teams and come to the final. They did play Atletico Madrid, they did play Real Madrid, so they've had to play the top quality teams also. Like uh, they also played Inter Miami to an extent. You can say like facing Messi, you never know anytime. So yeah, overall I think they do deserve to win this Club World Cup, and I think we'll see who wins it on Sunday. So yeah, that's it. Anything else from you guys?
No, bro, I just can't wait for
come
football to
on,
start again,
PSG.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Bro, football's ending this tomorrow and it's starting next week, bro.
No,
What a vibe.
Yeah,
is the Club
exactly.
World Cup part of the 24-25 season or the 25-26 season?
It's a season only. It's a summer tournament, no?
Because
So, no, where does the summer tournament come? We've never had a
no,
summer.
so if it's an
We've always
international
had.
tournament,
So
it
do
Oh,
counts
wait,
with
you
we
the
had Club
previous
World Cup.
season.
Correct, correct, correct.
so do you when you have Euros, you always count it on the
Yeah,
previous season, right?
but
Ah,
on transfer market, the club season has ended and this is the start of a new season. It's very interesting.
I mean, I guess that's because of the transfer market, the way it works, because they were allowed to buy in new players and start playing them in the Club World Cup.
Maybe, but the Euros counts as
no, no,
the
no, no,
like,
no. I think it'll be part of the 2025-26 season. Because I
yeah,
remember
because
when United won this one Champions League 2007-8, they had to go play the Club World
Brother,
Cup, but then they
that
were
Club
Club
World
World
Cup
Cup
used to
winners.
have Rishi, that Club World Cup
Correct.
used to happen in the middle of the season.
In the middle of the season, but yeah, even this technically is the summer. The previous season has ended.
So
So
every
once
time you play Euros, it's
no,
part of
but
the
the
previous
international
season.
competition counts in the previous season. Like I don't
Exactly.
know what the fun is, but
See, I
it's
think this
interesting
should
anyway.
be, bro, but honestly, it should be a part of the previous season
I
because
mean,
now
it
they're
doesn't.
going for a 4-week, 5-week summer break and then coming back for the new season. You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't really matter anyways.
Yeah,
But yeah,
technically it doesn't matter, but I think it would matter for your Ballon d'Or runs, etc. Like, I think they will have to
yeah.
count Club World Cup into the previous season. And yeah, anyways, we'll have to see what happens with that. Anyways, I think that's our time for today, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.